A summer, fresh, natural makeup that will last you all day long, no matter how hot it gets. Do you ever apply your makeup on a hot summer's day and within an hour it's sliding off your face with no evidence that you ever had any makeup on in the first place? Maybe you're going to a wedding, it's a garden party, or you're just having an evening out on holiday and you want to look a little bit glamorous, but your makeup's not lasting. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to apply your makeup so it lasts all day, no matter how hot it gets outside. As with any makeup, we need to start off with the right skincare. Now in hot weather, what we don't want is heavy, rich moisturisers. It's too much for the skin. So you want a lighter moisturiser, something like a water-based moisturiser. The one I'm using today, this is a hyaluronic acid moisturiser. This is actually part of a range that I've been sent to trial. It's a Korean skincare range. It's absolutely beautiful. But this is the hyaluronic moisturiser. It's a lovely hydrating moisturiser, but it's not too heavy and rich. Think again about this, patting it into the skin. Don't want to be rubbing our products into the skin too much. Next, 100% we need our SPF. This one I'm using today is by Indu. It's a fabulous under makeup SPF. It's factor 50, but looking at the amount that you use, as they say, it's about a teaspoon amount. Now that, if I can do it without it all running, is the amount of SPF I'm applying to my face. Secret with SPF, if you rub it in, it will start to sort of pill and go a bit wobbly because it dries. Then the more you rub it in, it sort of dries on itself. We're pushing this into the skin. So much better to be doing this rather than massaging it. Your SPF needs to stay on the skin now a good 3 to 4 minutes at least to really absorb in. If you start applying your foundation or your makeup on top, it's just going to slide off. So we have to leave that. So this is a great opportunity to actually move on to the eyebrows. Now, the reason why I do my eyebrows next is because we could almost make an intentional mistake and it's so much easier to put it right. Let me show you. Now you do have options. You can use your pencils, but in the heat, they're very easy to smudge. As soon as they get warm, the waxy product, they're going to come straight off. The L'Oreal Laminator Brow Pen. This is a double-pronged pen. So it can be like a Sharpie pen, to be honest. And what this means is the product will go on the eyebrows and it sticks for the day. But this is why we're doing our eyebrows first, because we can overcompensate and then we remove what we don't want. Let me show you here. So if I take sweeps that are bigger than I want and need, what that means is I can remove the lines above and below that don't work. That actually is not too bad. Other eye. But I'm taking a bigger sweep than what I'm initially thinking of. You can be a lot more adventurous, I think is probably the word I'm thinking of. What I'm going to do on top of these now before I brush them, this is my by Terry Hyaluronic Pressed Powder. It comes with a little tiny powder puff. And I'm just going to press that on the eyebrow. Just gives it a little bit of setting. Before I take my spoolie, I'm brushing my eyebrows. The spoolie is great because if you have got any harsher lines when you've applied it, it really does smooth them out. And then back with my Q-tip, my cotton wool bud, a little bit of remover, and this is where we can tidy up and we can remove any excess. So by doing your eyebrows early, it means that you can almost have a little bit of a free rein. Then just finally do one more set with the powder on the eyebrows. And you will find that they last all day. Eyebrows done, we can now move on to the primer. And primer is always important under makeup. But in hot weather, it's absolutely vital that you use a primer, but you need to have the right type of primer. What you want is for the makeup to adhere to the primer, so it's not going to start slipping and sliding and wearing off throughout the day. The one I've got here, this is the Maybelline Grippy Primer. What this primer does, it's a bit tacky. It's like it's a grippy primer, but it's tacky. It's a little bit sticky. And then when you apply your foundation or whatever other makeup you're applying, it adheres to it, and that means it stays put throughout the day. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops. And we're not massaging it into the skin. Primer is a product that lies on top of the skin to form a beautiful base for your foundation. What really helps to understand when you're applying makeup for hot weather is we want minimal amount of layers. I know I've said it before, but minimal amount of layers. So we're not going to be applying texture and then more texture on top. So we almost need to have one layer, but we only apply what we need where we need it. It will become clearer. I'm starting off with my under eye concealer, and this is my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It's a colour corrector, which means it sort of takes away this dark trophy area down there. Very quick, very easy. I'm just going to go dab, 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 dab. Ring fingers, and I'm tapping this into the skin. We're looking for maximum amount of coverage, minimal amount of product. That's already made a difference, and that's just colour corrector. But I'm going to do under eye concealer. The one I'm using today is by Bella Mianta, and it's a really lovely, rich consistency, smooth, creamy under eye concealer, great for mature skin. It's a medium coverage, which is what we're looking for, not looking for too heavy coverage. But what I'm doing is I'm applying it on the back of my hands first. I'm not applying it from the applicator straight under my eye. And I'm using a applicator brush, and I'm going to tap this in that corner part of my eye. Get the other side. So what we're looking to do is open up this inner part of the eye. Ring fingers again, and you're just going to tap this around the eye. Now, as we're tapping, you can be moving this along underneath the eye socket. We're not going close to the lash line, but we're very gently just tapping. So there's almost a tiny bit of residue on the fingers that will just blend it very, very gently. Minimal amount of product. We're now going to move on to the foundation, and the one I'm using today, this one is by Decipher. This is the online range, and they colour mix the foundation to perfectly match your skin tone. You get different textures. This is a nice medium texture and a dewy light finish, because what we're looking for is not a heavy caked makeup. If you have heavy caked makeup and you start to perspire, we don't sweat, we perspire, it's going to crack, it's going to crease, it's going to look cakey. So what we need is makeup that still allows our skin to shine through. Taking it on the back of my hand, and we don't need a lot at all. So that is the amount I have on the back of my hand, if you can see that. Not a lot at all. Soft makeup brush, and we're rubbing it into the brush. So all the product needs to come from the back of your hand. All of it should go. And the product is now working itself into the brush. And this is where we work differently to how we would maybe normally work. We're not layering. So we only apply this when we're having just the foundation, because we're going to be applying contour, blusher, contour and blusher, highlight around this area. We don't need foundation around that area because it just creates another layer. So starting at the middle of the face, we're dabbing this, and we're only taking it on the areas where we're not having any other makeup. You'll also see I'm not wiping it. Really try and get in the habit of pressing it into the skin. And then when you feel that all the product has come off the brush, we can then just work very gently around that eye area. Foundation done. Now, the other ruling is cream on cream, powder on powder. So when you're using creamy texture products, you want to lay your creamy textures, because if we apply a cream product and then we apply setting powder and then we apply cream on top of that powder, it's going to sort of congeal a little bit, and we don't want that. So cream on cream, powder on powder. So when it comes to my contour and blusher, if I was going to apply a powder based, I would now set this with powder and then I could apply that on top, but I'm going to be using cream. These are the Pixie On The Glow bronzers. I've got two different colours here just to show you, but I'm going to be using this one. This is called Beach Glow and that one's called Rich Glow, and this is slightly darker. This is more of your summer holiday. You've got your bronzy tan. It's a really lovely texture. You wind these up. Do you see the product comes out? Don't need too much out there. And then with no foundation down there. So this is the first layering of product. We could also take that around the edge of the forehead. Think about areas where the sun is going to hit and give you that glow. And I'm just going to do a little tiny bit on that little, I'm not going to call it a jowl. Taking my brush, I'm now stippling this. And it's a creamy texture, so it blends in beautifully. But we've still only got one layer of product on the skin. And the less you have on the skin, the less it's going to slide off. The same stippling action. You're not moving it on the cheekbone. We're going to have some blush on the cheekbone. But we're trying to get that. You can almost feel it with the brush under the cheek there. It's a great little guide for you as well. It's very easy to do. Then underneath this area here, we're creating this chiseled in my dreams. We're creating a chiseled look. I don't think I've been chiseled. I don't think I was chiseled at 20, let alone this age. So we're creating what we'd like to think would be a chiseled jawline. And then we'll have a bit of product on the brush. We're taking it underneath the chin. Remember, don't go on the line. We're not, because otherwise you'll lose that contour in there. So you want to go on. You want to almost create this harsher line underneath. Pixie, once again, have completely nailed it with their On The Glow blush range. I've got Cheek Tone, I've got Mauve, and I've got Cassis there. Cheek Tone I love, I have to say, because this blends to the natural colour of your skin. So it almost goes on from those colour changing products. There we have the product. It does not look very pink, but if we just take this along the cheek, gives a really rosy, pinky, plush colour. I'm going to use my fingers for this. We should now have a really lovely glow, but what we don't have is layers and layers of product, so it feels very light. It actually feels like I've got moisturiser on. Before I move on to the eyes, I want to give this a very quick set. This is another part of the Pixie range. This is the Makeup Fixing Spray. It's a very lovely light spray. We've got minimum amount of products on, but we'll get great coverage, but we're also making sure it sticks, it stays placed all day. Don't go too close to the spray. It's a lovely fine spray, but don't get too close, otherwise you'll end up with like these water droplets over your face. We don't want that. Give it a spray. It smells beautiful. It's a lovely fresh smell. That gives a lovely dewy finish. Okay, moving on to eyes. When we're starting the eyes, it's a good idea. Again, I'm going back to my By Terry Hyaluronic Pressed Powder. And just using a soft brush, tiny amount, I'm just going to do a little tiny bit of powder just on the eyes themselves. This really does help prevent any creasing on the eyes. We also need to prime the eyes because the primer is like a base that your products that go on top adhere to, so they will last longer. The one I've got here, this is another Pixie product, good old Pixie today. This is called Corrector Concentrate. This one's in Brightening Peach, so it has twofold really the benefits of using this one. One of the benefits is it's a primer, so it's going to help whatever we put on the eyes to adhere and last longer. It's also a colour neutraliser. So as it's the Brightening Peach, it also neutralises any discoloration in the eyes. So I've cleaned my brush that I used for my concealer because I'm going to use the same brush. Taking a little bit of this product, I'm going to just dab this over the eyes. Now you can use your finger for this, but I will be honest, the brush does give not only a better finish, it's easier to get in to all the little areas. And what's great is this can go just under the outer corners of the eye as well. That lifts the whole of that outer area as well. So it's a colour neutraliser and it's also a great base for your eyeshadow. I'll just do the other eye. And when it comes to the eyeshadow itself, we've got two options. Of course, we've got powder eyeshadow and we've got the pencil eyeshadows. For hot weather, I would always go for the pencils. They just grip the skin and they last even longer. And I think you get a much smoother consistency. The powders can crease slightly because you've got a powder consistency, skin that's slightly perspiring, and it can sort of, it mixes. It's not a good look. I've got a base colour here. This one's called Vanilla. It's by the Prime Cosmetics. And it's a lovely neutral colour. The reason I like this is because it's a very light colour. It's a lovely light consistency. We're keeping this inner part of the eye really, really lifted and light. The next pencil I'm using, this one's by Delilah, and it's a sort of, I would say it's not a too deep a brown. It's sort of chocolatey brown, but when it's on, it's not too dark. But we're going to create some contour now for the eyes. We're almost looking now at making your eyes look bigger, making your eyes look brighter, but all we're doing at the moment is creating contour, so it's shade. So you need to be looking directly in front of you into the mirror. And you're having a look at where your lashes would touch the brow bone, and just take a little tiny dot. But when I look straight ahead, put the difference there. We're not taking it down. What we're not doing is taking anything below that line from the corner of your eye to the edge of your eyebrow. So I'll do the same on here, just very gently. And then taking an angled brush, you're just sweeping over it. What you don't want to be doing, this edge of the brow bone here, we're keeping that light. So you're not taking this up so it reaches your eyebrows. So just a very gentle sweep. So we've created a very, very delicate bit of contour. A really lovely summery colour for the eyes. This is another Delilah pencil. This is a sort of a bronzy, coppery sort of colour. It's got a very slight sheen to it. But if we raise the eye and we go slightly underneath what we've just done, so we've created that brow bone, but this is giving a little bit of colour and just that outer section of the eye. Again, we're just going to go over very, very gently. So that gives a tiny, tiny little bit of warmth to the eyes. So what we're doing, we're keeping this inner part of the eye here really light, and we're only taking a little bit of colour on that brow bone. The eyes now should just look relatively fresh. It's warm weather. What we don't want is heavy makeup, but you don't want it to look too heavy. But what we can do is extend these lashes to open and brighten the eyes. This is where we avoid the black. It's summer, it's hot weather, we don't want black. I'm going to start off, this is a Wonder Skin eyeliner pencil. It's a long-lasting pencil, and this is sort of purpley colour. It's like a deep mulberry purple colour. Show you that end as well, so you can see what the colour is. All I'm going to do is dot very, very gently along the base of the lash. What we don't want to create is a harsher eyeliner. Even that tiny amount there, you can see a difference. So just dot between the lashes. This is Wonder Skin long-lasting eyeliner. This is a technique that does take a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, but if you can get it right, it really will lengthen those lashes and make your eyes just look so much bigger and brighter and fresher. So you're going to be looking up, and we're taking this along the base of the lashes. So we're not taking our liner down from the top, we're going from the underneath. Now you can tight line if you want to tight line. I'll do this eye without tight lining. All I'm doing is going into the actual lash itself, but I'm going from the underneath. You should be able to see already, that looks longer. It looks like I've got longer lashes. No mascara on yet, but actually looks like I have lashes. I've actually got them. Really opens up the eye. This is now where we need to set the eyeliner to make sure it doesn't smudge, it doesn't run. It's a creamy product, so by applying a powder on top, it's going to set it. But we don't want to be applying the translucent powder. No, we can apply eyeshadow. It's a powder, but we need to do it carefully. This is the flat, chiseled brush. It's on the opposite end of my spoolie. And I'm going to spray it with fixing spray. A decent amount, so it's damp. This is just a Smashbox palette, but the colour I'm taking is like a sort of, if you can see there, like a mulberry, like a deep purpley mulberry. So I'm dabbing this wet brush into the palette. Armed with my trusty little bit of toilet tissue, I'm holding that there, and I am going to dab the base of my eyelashes. the powder will set the eyeliner. And because we have the makeup fixing spray on there, it's going to set, and it's not going to budge all day, even in the heat. Let me do the other eye. I'm taking the same principle again, a little tiny spray. I'm taking a brown colour now. So on the same Smashbox, this is just a brown colour there, if you can see that colour. Because it's wet, it lasts. And I'm going to dab under my eye. Just that outer corner. So next I'm taking a clean makeup brush, and this time I'm taking a very light colour. So I'm going to use this one here. It's a very light sort of taupey colour. The brush isn't wet, the brush is dry. But because it's just a mid-colour powder, it will add a bit of blending without really adding colour. So it's just softening that line. And on the top, just softening very slightly. It's light, it's fresh, it's got definition, and it will stay all day. The mascara I'm using, this is Prime Lash. This one's in brown. Now the way you do your mascara is you take the base of the lash and you wiggle and you walk the mascara wand up the lash. I'm not using eyelash curlers, they are optional. If you like eyelash curlers, by all means go and use your curlers, they are good. I'm not going to apply mascara to the bottom lashes, it's actually quite aging. It's far more flattering just to keep them on the top lashes and to keep the eyelashes coming out to the outside. So there we have, our eyes should be done. I'm going to finish off the eyes. Where's my brush? What I have here is back to my hyaluronic by Terry powder, and press underneath the eyes to get that lovely and set. Then taking it over the top, and this will set your eyeshadow, and because it's pencil, you find it will last. If you really want your lipstick to last, you can get it to last all day. There are a few little tricks for it, but you can actually do it. Now, a lip liner is, I would say, one of those things that if you can learn to master a lip liner, it really does make so much difference to the shape of your lip. Lip liner's like wearing a bra. Gives the lips the support rather than it just finding its own way. Can I say that? Of course, aging with the mouth also brings these very fine vertical lines. They call them smoker's lines, but it doesn't matter whether you've smoked or not. I've never smoked in my life, but we still get these very fine lines. So if we try to apply lip liner with our lips static, we're going to have these little lines, and the line is sort of going to go over them and mist inside the crease. So we need to have a little bit of smile to our face. We need to stretch the lips. When you apply your lip liner, just give a little bit of stretch. Take a dividing line, halve your lips, then take a little V at the top. Okay, we want symmetry here. You can't start off and go round. And then we're only going to go down 3/4 of the way down the outside of the lip. We're not going to touch the outer corners. That's like the clown lips. You don't want your lip liner touching the outer corner. Bottom of the lips. So you go one way, go the other way. We've got symmetry now, and now we're going to fill them in. Your lip liner is a waxy consistency, whereas lipstick is a little bit more of an oilier consistency. So what the lip liner does, it almost forms this sort of barrier, this sort of line on the outer edge, and it stops your lipstick from running into those fine lines. By applying this over the base of the whole of your lip, you're also creating a much firmer base. In other words, it's going to stick, it lasts longer. Get a lip liner, draw it on the back of your hand, get lipstick on the back of your hand, rub them off, see which one lasts the longest. So if we apply our lip liner over the top of our whole lip before we apply our lipstick, well, as your lipstick starts to wear off throughout the day, your lip liner remains. If you want your lipstick to last all day, put in the effort and it will. So I'm taking a colour here that's slightly darker than the colour I eventually want. But what we're going to do now, I mean, there's no layers on the face with makeup, but we need layers on the lips, because with the lips, as something starts to wear off, we've got something deeper underneath. It just keeps that element of colour on the lips. So this is just a Maybelline lipstick. I will put colours and everything in the description box for you. It's your choice, obviously, a lip colour. So I'm taking it on a lip brush and we're doing the same process again. Dividing the lip. Spend time practicing how to do your lips. Really, honestly, it will pay off. Take a bit of tissue, place it over the top. What you're not doing is that. Because it just sticks inside your mouth. Take some tissue, press it over the top. And now we're going to go again, but this time with the layer of lipstick that you actually want. So this is just another Maybelline lipstick. It's a much paler colour, just like a baby pink, really, to be honest. And then you apply this. Same blotting again. Then using your finger, take a little bit of your powder. So you take it on your finger, just dab that over the lip. Don't put that back in your powder. If you're going to go back in, use a different finger. That can look a little bit matte if you like the matte look, but I actually like the glossy look. So now I'm just taking my lip gloss. I do like a lip gloss. I am a lip gloss girl. And the lip gloss only goes in the middle areas, not the whole lip. So what you'll find there is throughout the day, you're reapplying your lip gloss because the lip colour will stay fixed. One final thing to do, I'm taking my By Terry once again. Now I have got my trusty little damp beauty blender sponge. I'm taking my sponge in a little bit of this powder and I'm going to set all the lines where I'm going to get movement. Then taking the damp beauty blender on my powder, just going to press that in all over. If you wanted, you could do one final. And there you have it, a really lovely, fresh summer makeup that will last you all day, no matter how hot it gets. Feels lovely and light too. I want you to ask me one makeup related question in the comments. It doesn't matter whether it's related to this video or not. It could be anything to do with makeup and your makeup dilemmas. I read every comment and I would love to make a video especially for you. If you love learning about makeup and you want to find out lots more hints and tips, download my free guide, the 12 makeup mistakes that are aging you. It's free. Why would you not do that? The link is in the comments and it's also in the description box. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd recommend you watch these two videos next because they're going to give you lots more hints, tips and tricks. Don't forget one more thing before you go. Please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, get on that priority list and be the first to find out when my next video is out. Thank you so much for watching. I love you being here and I really appreciate all your support. Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.